This subtraction of number base. So we're going to look at some question under this subtraction of number base, and I think it's more of subtraction of number base. So let's look at this. We are going to look at this question. Subtraction is a little bit tricky compared to addition. Addition is just straightforward, but subtraction, you have to be mindful of how you solve the question under it. Now let's look at this first question. You're given something like this. You have to subtract. You have 1 0 1 0 0. I told you if you have something like this in what is in base 2. So you have 1 1 1 1 1 1 base 0 is in base 2. You have to subtract it. So 0 minus 0 is 0. Now you cannot minus 0 here. I told that because this thing is in base 2, you have to borrow. You borrow 1 from here, becomes 0. Now any one you borrow, it is now 2, no more 1. So it will be 2 here. 2 minus 1 is what? Is 1 here. Now you have 0 here. You borrow 1 from here. This one becomes 0. You bring it here, becomes 2. You borrow from 2, become 1. You are coming here. You bring it here, becomes what? 2. So 2 minus 1 is what? Is 1. Now 1 minus 1, it is what? It is 0. So this one also is 0. So this 0 preceding it is not counted. You may ignore it. That is 1 1 0 base 2. That is the answer for this. Let's look at another one. You have this one. You have 5 4 3 4 minus 2 7 4 6. They are both in what? In base 6. So how do you subtract this? The same thing you're going to do now. You borrow 1 from here. Any one you borrow, it is 6. So this one will be 2 here. The 6, you put it there, right? So that will be what? That will be 6 plus 4 will be 10. 10 minus 6 will now give you what? Will now give you 4. That's how you're going to do it. So anyone you borrow, you add it to the number at the top, then you minus it from the number at the bottom. You have 2 here. You can't take away 2 from 4. You borrow from here. It means 3 here. You bring the 6 here, becomes 6 here. You know, once you borrow is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 8 minus 4, you have what? You have 4 here. You have 3 here. You have to borrow here also. You borrow here, remain what? Remain 4 here. The one you borrow, it is now 6. That 6, you add it to this top number. 6 plus 3 is 9. Then 9 minus 7, you have 2. Now 4 minus 2 is what? Is also what? 2. Base 6. So this is what? This is the answer for this. And look at this question. It said, let me scroll down a little bit. It said a Saraveka in South America, the quinary scale. Queen means 5. Queen, X, and septuple, all this kind of thing. Now queen is 5. Is used. Full stop. The weight of false Saravegans are 22 base 5, 23 base 5, 24 base 5, 20 units respectively. Calculate the average weight in quinary scale. So first thing is that you add all these things together. You know, average, you have to divide it by 4. But what you do is that you add them up together first. So when you add up, we have 2, 2. Remember, it's in base 5. This is just like addition, but I don't know. I have to let me just fix it in. So this addition something, but it's more of like technical question. So that is why I just I saw it in past question. Now 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 5 goes in 11. That is what you have is 2. Remainder 1. 2 remainder 1, because 5 times 2 is 10. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 5 goes in 11. It's also what? 2 remainder 1. So you have 2 2 1. Now base 5. Now you can't divide this thing by 3. There will be problem. You convert it to base 10 first. So converting this base 5 to base 10, you have 2 times 5 plus 1 times 5 plus 1 times 5. So here you have 0, here you have 1, and here you have what? You have 2 here. So you have 2 times 5 squared is 5 times 5, that is 25, plus 5 raised to power 1 is 5, 1 times 5, that is 1. Let me write it like this: 1 times 5 plus 1 times 1. Now 2 times 25 is 50. 50 plus 1 times 5 is 5. Then 1 times 1 is what? Is 1. So when you add them up together, you will get 50 plus 5 is 55 plus 1 is what? Is 56. Now is in base 10. Now you want to divide this thing because in base 10 it's easier for you to, it will be easier for you to divide it. Remember, the numbers are 4 in number 1, 2, 3, 4. They are in 4. If I have 4 in numbers and you're looking for the average, that means you count the number 1, 2, 3, 4, you divide it by total number there. So you have total number is 56 now. So the average now, the average in base 10, because 4 also is in base 10, average in base 10. So that will be what? 56. There are 4 numbers there divided by 4. So when you divide 56 divided by 4, you should have I think 4 in 16 is what? It is 4. So base 10. So this 14 base 10, you convert it back to base what? Base 5 is in base 5. So to do the conversion, this is the last part. So this is what you do. 5 goes in 14. This that is 2. Remainder what? Remainder 4, right? Use 5 again. 5 goes in 2 is not possible. 0. What is 0? Bring it to a remainder what? Remainder 2. So you move up like this. So your final answer is what? 24 base what? Base 5. This is your final answer. Let me give another one. Let's do another one. Then we move on to the next one. Let's assume we are given something like this. We are given a 9 5, let's say 5 6 minus, let's say you have 5 here, then you have, let's say you have b here, you have a here, and you have 9 here. Now you have to minus this thing. Is in base 16 hexadecimal, so you have to what? Subtract them. Now what I told you earlier, you have to borrow from here, right? You borrow from this one here. What do you have left? You have 4 left here, and what you borrow is now 16, right? So 16 plus 6. 16 plus 6 is what? That is give you 22, if I'm right. That is 22. Now 22 minus 9, when you minus 22 from 9, you borrow 1 from here, that is 12. 9 minus 12, that is 3. You have here what? 13, Abby. 1 here is 13. So 13 in hexadecimal, A is what? A is 10. B is what? B is 11. C is what? C is 12. And D is what? D is 13. So here is going to be what? It's going to be D. Now here you have 4 here. You borrow from here. It's also what? When you borrow from here, you have 8 here. What you borrow is 16 also. It should be 16. So you add the 16 plus 4, that is 20. So you have 20 minus, remember our A is what? A is 10. And 20 minus 10 will give us what? Will give us 10. So, and 10 in hexadecimal, it is what? It is A. So here will be A. Now you have 8 here. You borrow from here, from this A. When you borrow from A, it will become 9. Because A here is 10. When you borrow from A, it becomes 9. No, anyone you borrow, you know 16. You will bring the 16 here. You add the 16 plus 8. 16 plus 8, that should give us 24. If I'm right, 24. And our B is what? What's our B? Our B is 11 minus what? Minus 11. 4 minus 1 is 3. And 2 minus 1 is what? Is 1. 13. And 13 in hexadecimal is D. So what I'm going to write here is what? Is D. Now use on 9 minus 5. That is what? That is 4. Base 16. So that is it for this. Thank you. We will move on to the next one.